What team in the league right now do you think looks like that Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan Clippers team? What team looks like that? Because I think, to me, that was like that's probably one of my favorite run and gun teams. And then next would be that Phoenix Suns team with Nash and Marion and Raja Bell and Amare. What team looks like that Clippers team? Because I would have loved, which is why I enamor our bench so much. Because I think our bench is that. I think our bench is that. Even if you was to say, you know what, we're gonna swap Noel and put even if you say we swap Noel out for Mitch at the starting position, you put Mitch coming off the bench, our bench looks like that Clippers team. So what team in the league right now do you think looks like that LA Clippers run and gun and dunk on everybody team?
The Knicks. I don't know about dunking on everybody, but I think Mitchell Robinson is going to dunk a lot, man. You know, he's going to look a lot better than he is. Because, I mean, just for the simple fact, he has 4 offensive talents around him. He's going to be open. You know, so I think he can put off a DeAndre Jordan, type of thing. You know, we got to be careful with that because we're going to have to pay him, if he does do that. You know,
hey, listen, all I'll say about that, this angry idea about we don't pay Mitchell Robinson. What are you like? What we got to pay this guy? Yo, Rudy Gobert got a bag for doing what Mitchell Robinson does right now, a little bit more better. Let's be real.
Do you know what Tree Rollins did in his career, man? Remember Tree Rollins back in the days?
Tree Rollins? No, that name doesn't ring a bell.
Well, Tree Rollins played for Atlanta, man. This is a guy like during the era where everybody had a good center. Atlanta had Tree Rollins, you know what I'm saying? One of like the worst offensive guys. But I mean, if you want to talk about stats, he would give you like 8 to 9 points, basically 8 to 9 rebounds, 7 to 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, that type of thing. That's basically Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson hasn't given us anything more than that, and he's gotten starters minutes and stuff like that. He doesn't have an ability to score. So anyway, to pay somebody like major money like the way they pay Goldberg, you got to be able to score. So I mean, every time Utah gets in trouble in the playoffs when they need a bucket, when it's Donovan Mitchell drowning, there's nobody else that can score. And when they paid their center the max and he cannot create his own shot, I think you can't do that.
Listen, I'm not comparing. I'm comparing. Yes, we could say Utah was Utah dumb as hell for that. Yes, I think so. But I'm talking about what the new NBA standard is for who gets paid. That is like so all over the place. Like JJ Redick was still making crazy buku contracts, right? Dragic made a bunch of money. They paid your boy that went down to Charlotte from Boston. What's the white guy's name?
Gordon
Hayward. He got a bag. Like, who gets a bag is
everybody's
just a matter
getting a bag
of
now.
Right. So who gets it? So why are we arguing or why are we worried about, oh, we got to pay the guy? Like, I don't care about what Dolan does with the money or what the front office does with how they pay him. All I'm saying is the standard has changed as to who deserves what. Standards changed. So if I'm not saying that I'm going to pay Mitchell Robinson what Rudy Gobert got, but if the asking price is half of that, we can. I'll give you that right away. And if he's wanting more, then let's talk. But if you're asking for Rudy Gobert money, certainly no. Certainly no. I want you to play here because you want to play here.
Well, let's say the Knicks didn't make the playoffs last year, and then say Mitchell Robinson got an extension, and like I was saying, we did not make the playoffs, right? And then say Mitchell Robinson did not get an extension yet, but he was up for an extension. Let's say if we didn't win, like I'm saying, and Mitchell Robinson got an extension, that is a travesty. You know, we didn't make the playoffs with this guy, and then you want to take your cap and say, just throw it out the window and just give this guy money just because he's owed it due to the market or due to what's happening. You can't do that because you totally screw your franchise over because you can't get better now because now you done tied up all your money and equity into a guy that can't create his own shot. That's not. I don't think that's a good idea.
Again. A lot of people don't like this part of the conversation. It always seems to come here. Is it that Mitchell Robinson can't, or he just didn't? Now, hold on. Before you answer, I want you to think about this for a second. Right? Think about this for a second. There's not many centers in the league that we give the expectation to create your own shots. There might be 5 in the league that we say, put the ball on the floor, create your own shots, make the ball from the top of the key, right? Start from the top of the key and do that. And we'll give you a bag, right? There might be 5. I can only think of 2 right now off the top of my head. No, I'll say 3. And one of them is not even a traditional center. I'm talking about Embiid, Jokic, and Bam Bam. Bam Adebayo. That's it. No other center in the league is really creating their own shot. None of them are doing that, right? So Rudy Gobert got a bag based off of what he does well, which is rebound the ball and put back and play defense. And what do you expect Mitchell Robinson to do? Rebound the ball, put back, defense, and blocks because he did that. That's what you expect him to do, right? So
look at
this idea, this bull crap idea that we have that we're not going to give a guy the ball that can't create his own shot. Rudy Gobert can't create his own shot. He gets the ball in the paint. He might do 2 dribbles and a hook. You might get that out of him. Other than that, he's a same run and gun lobber just like everybody else. All of the other big man running up and down the floor centers, Rudy Gobert is that. He just does it a little bit better than all of them, and he got a bag. Now, again, Utah's crazy as hell for doing that. I'm just saying that the market is what's going to dictate what we determine a player is going to get at this time. That's it. The market is going to dictate that, not the opinion of Eru or Evergreen. That ain't going to dictate it. The market is going to say Mitchell Robinson deserves to get something because 2 years ago, Rudy Gobert got something, and he does. And if I would go so far as to argue to say, you give Mitchell Robinson a full healthy season, and he's better than Rudy Gobert. If you ask me, I would say that. That's that first opinion, Knicks fans. The first Evergreen G opinion. That's it. Mitchell Robinson will be better. I'll say that right now in confidence. Mitchell Robinson will be better than Rudy Gobert.
All right,
I'll say it right now.
You're talking about market. So $45 million? You would pay Mitchell Robinson $45 million a year?
No, that's what I'm saying. He will be better. He's not better now, but we're in a position where we got to extend him this year. We got to give this guy a contract next year if we want to keep him.
Right.
So would you pay Mitchell Robinson? Would you pay Mitchell Robinson $19 million?
I don't know about that. I mean, $19 million over what? Over how many years? You're talking about giving him a 5-year deal like this? Give him $20 million a year with like.
Would you give Mitchell Robinson? Here we go. Knicks fans, you ready for this? Would you give Mitchell Robinson 4 years, $86 million?
I gotta get my calculator now.
Come on, bro.
4 years.
Come on, bro. That's
86 million.
That's $21.5 million a year, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't, because I mean, you know, by paying him $21 million, does that make us a better team?
See, here's what happens, Knicks fans. This is what happens. What we start doing is we start looking at the money as if it's ours, right? So hold on, Eru, get out of the money, bro. Get out of the money. Get out of the money because it's not yours. The question actually should be, if Mitchell Robinson is not on this team, are we better? Who can we find in the league right now to replace Mitchell Robinson and give you the exact same production on a cheaper contract?
Nerlens Noel. He did that last year for us.
Bro, who are you going to have coming off the bench then?
Taj Gibson and Jericho Sims. We won 41 games last year. 41 games we won last year.
God.
Fourth seed in the NBA with that formula.
Okay. So fine. I'll concede to that. Do we get out of the playoffs? Do we get out of the first round with that same setup? Even with the team that we have right now, even with Kemba Walker starting and Evan Fournier coming at the 2 or the 3, RJ Barrett at the 3 or the 2, Julius Randle at the 4, Nerlens Noel starting, and Taj Gibson coming off the bench at the 5. Which means that lob threat that you thought you had with the potential Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel is out the window because Taj Gibson ain't jumping nowhere. Jericho Sims hasn't learned enough to be trusted, so you can automatically cut him out. And you think that we're going to get out of the first round against Clinton Capella?
That doesn't mean I have to pay Mitch Robinson $21 million.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Mitch, again, you're looking at it. This is what all Knicks fans do. All Knicks fans look at that money like it's if it's theirs. I'm saying is
you keep saying that, but listen, it's a team. We have to build a team. So if we paying Mitchell Robinson $21 million, then who's our power forward? Who's our small forward? Who's these other guys? How do we get better?
The same guy that we got that's a power forward and a small forward right now. The guy that we got that's a power forward right now is on contract for the next 4 years. The guy that we got that's a power forward coming off the bench for him is on contract for the next 3 years. This is not an argument. The guy that's can easily be moved at the 5 position is Nerlens Noel. Bye. You're only making $10 million. I'm packaging it and I'm moving you for something that I need. But Mitchell Robinson, in my opinion, Mitchell Robinson is a guy that you retain. Because there's not many. How many centers in the league right now do you know that will sprint out to the 3 and get you a block?
Yeah, but he weighs 270 pounds now. Is he going to be able to do that? We don't know yet.
Sure, we don't know. I'm cool with saying that we don't know. I got that. I'll ride with that too. You got that. That's a great cover up for acting like you don't know what he did.
Yeah, he did that. He also averaged almost 5 blocks his first season, but he hasn't done anything close to that since then.
Since his what are you? Oh, whoa. See. Now let's go to the stats. See,
you can go to the stats if you want to. He didn't average 4 blocks a game last year, Mitch Robinson.
This is nobody who averaged 4 blocks a game.
But that was the narrative that he was going to average 6 blocks a game, 10 blocks a game. He was going to average.
No, that hasn't happened. That's never happened. So I don't care about what everybody else's narrative is. That's not my MO. It's never been my MO. I care about what the numbers say. And the numbers tell me that His career peak thus far was 8.4 career, 8.4 points a game. Okay. 9.7 in the 2019-2020 season at a total of 7 rebounds a game. That was in 2020 and 2 blocks. And at his peak was his rookie season at 2.4. But the system changed at 1.5 and he got injured. Okay, he's only been in the league 3 years. He got injured, right? This narrative that Mitchell Robinson, like, all right, when you say that someone's injury prone, right? Because that's the narrative that comes out. When you say that someone is injury prone, are you looking at freak accident injuries and you're saying that's injury prone? Or are you like
injury prone is injury prone?
No. Clarify. You can't define something and say the same thing twice. Like when I say injury prone, again, the most polarizing Knick in Knick history, Frank Ntilikina, was an injury prone guy. He injured the groin at least 3 times every single season that he played for this team. That's injury prone. Mitchell Robinson is just a guy with bad luck. Last season, I'm looking at it last season because the season before that, he had little small ankle injuries here that put him out for maybe 6-7 games, little knee injuries here that put him out for maybe, certain amount of games here and there. Like he wasn't out completely. Like games played out of 72 games, right? In the 2018 season, he played 66. That means he missed 8 games, right? Is the math right there? He missed 8 games. And actually, no, what is it? 82 games a season, right? I apologize. My math is off. 82 games a season, right? In the 2018 season, is 82 games or 80? How many? What is it? 82 or 86? Either way, he missed in a season. Yeah, 82. Okay, so he missed 16 games, and then the 2019-2020 season, which is statistically arguably his best season, he got 61 games. Last season, which was the back-to-back injuries, he only played 31, right? I'm not saying give the guy a bag right now. I'm saying that this is the year that you evaluate.
Yeah.
This is the year that you evaluate and you let the market dictate. I'm happy with what they did as far as contracts and fiscal responsibility, fiscal security, all that good stuff. I'm happy with that. But if he gives me 10 points a game, which I think should be easy for him, based off of the way the starting lineup is constructed right now, assuming he's a starter, that's easy. Easy money. Off of lobs, can Mitchell Robinson catch 5 lobs a game, maybe 2 lobs a game and 3 putbacks? Easy money. And then you give him maybe 3 foul shots a game, that's an easy 13 points a game. You give him 2 blocks a game, a steal, and let's see. We'll be reasonable with his rebounds. He averaged 7 rebounds a game. For his career, he averaged 7 rebounds. So you give me a guy that gives you 7 rebounds, 13 points, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. Because he's averaging 0.9 for his career. What do you pay that guy? Again, 7 rebounds, 13 points, because I think that could be his peak. 7 rebounds, 13 points, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. What do you pay that guy?
I know I don't want to go north of too much. Well, I mean, 20 million, because you're talking about the market. But I don't care. Like I'm not looking at it as the market. I'm looking at it as our team.
Okay,
I'm looking at how can we maximize the potential of our team
based on this team now? If we say Mitchell Robinson is a guy that we are going to re-sign, right? Because he gave us 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal.
But he never gave us 13 rebounds. He never gave us 13 points a game.
I got you. But what I'm saying is, based off of the way this team is constructed, with the space, with the fact that you can't double team anybody, or if you double team him, the only person that really needs to step up to double team him is the center position, where you would think that you're not losing anybody, which is Lob City for Kemba, right? Because we didn't really have a super lob threat under any of the point guards we had, really, right? The lobs that he was getting wasn't from it wasn't from Alec Burke like that. It damn sure wasn't from Derrick Rose because they didn't really play together. It wasn't from Quickly, and it certainly wasn't from Elfrid Payton. So now you got Kemba Walker, who is your new primary distributor driver. And the last season, he averaged 8.3 points. With a guy that can't get him the ball in the air. He averaged 8.3 points. So you give me 2 more lob attempts and 1 more foul shot. That's it. That's 5 points. Well, not even 1 more foul shot. 1 more foul, which is 2 shots at the line. Assuming he doesn't make it. 2 shots at the line. And his field goal percentage from, let's see, what's his foul shot percentage? Free throw percentage. He had 2.1 attempts a game, 1.2 attempts per 1.2 free throws are made. So he's a 56% free throw shooter. So out of 1 extra attempt at the line, you're getting, out of 1 extra foul, you're getting a whole nother point. So that 8.3 is going to easily get you 12 to 13 points. That's why I'm not jumping out the sky and giving all these crazy numbers. I'm just looking at, you think Kemba Walker can get, yes or no? Do you think Kemba Walker can get Mitchell Robinson 2 more lob attempts a game?
I mean, we talked about it. I've been saying it the whole game. We got 4 offensive players in the starting lineup, so Mitchell Robinson is going to be open. You know, I've been saying it. I've been saying it the whole podcast.
So that's a yes, right? He already averaged 8.3 points a game. So 2 more attempts. Let's just assume that he makes 1 of those 2. Now he's at 10.3 points a game. And the other one is a foul, and he's shooting 50% from the floor. So we'll say that's 11. We'll give the max. 11 points a game. Now I'm dropping. I'm helping you out. 11 points a game. We keep him at the same rebounds, 7 rebounds a game. We keep him at the same blocks, 2 blocks a game, and we keep him at the same steals.
I don't feel comfortable paying him $20 million a year.
So I'm asking you, what are you going to pay him, Eru? What are you going to pay him?
Me personally, like I said, I wouldn't pay him. Me personally, I wouldn't pay him. I would find somebody else.
Wow.
The same way we found Nerlens Noel, we paid Nerlens Noel $5 million to play 1 year. We could find somebody else.
But Nerlens Noel's making $10 million right now.
Well, I'd rather pay Mitchell Robinson $10 million. If he don't want to take $10 million, then I'll find somebody else.
Knicks fans. Okay. So Knicks fans.
Because I mean, listen, you're kind of being a little bit too like dramatic with the numbers, because his numbers are not crazy. Like if Mitchell Robinson was giving me like 12 rebounds a game, you know, that type of thing, walking into the gym, he doesn't rebound the ball well. He cannot score unless he's getting a lob. You know what I'm saying? So this is not skills that you cannot find somewhere else. You can find that in the scrap heap. You know what I'm saying? I understand he has little intangibles and that are great, but not $20 million a year great. You know what I'm saying? I would rather find a bargain basement player than pay him $20-something million, because I get the whole thing where maybe you can pay him now, package him later, and do that. I'm not with that. I'm with trying to maximize the potential of the roster as best I can. I do not want to lock up salary for a guy that's injury prone, because there's a reason. If he keeps getting these freak injuries, that means that there's something going on here. So that means that you can guarantee that Mitchell Robinson is going to break something this year. So why am I paying him $20 million?
Bro, but all right, so out of 3 years, the only year that he's broken anything was last season. We got to stop with this injury prone stuff for Mitchell Robinson.
Didn't he break his hand? He broke his foot this year, and he broke his hand sometime before.
It was the same year. It was the same year. Cut it out. They were both the same year. He broke his hand first this year or last season, and in the same season, he came back for 4 games, and he landed on somebody's foot and broke his foot. Okay,
he's goofy.
Sure. I'll give you that too. He was goofy at 230 pounds, but now he's 270-pound man.
So now when he falls, he's gonna break his whole hip and everything now because he's way heavier.
Oh man, I like it. I like it. Listen, all I'm saying is I am certainly willing to negotiate. I'm not saying you pay him $20 million. I'm damn sure not saying you pay him $45 million. This is why I don't take a position on this. All I'm saying is I want the guy. And in reality, I want him because I really, really, really value continuity, which is why I was one of the first to say that I want this guy retained here, and I really value the fact that they decided to keep everybody. That they decided to bring back. They decided to bring back Burks, Noel. Yeah, they moved on from Bullock, but whatever. Yeah, they moved on from Elfrid Payton, which is good riddance. But I value the return, and I'm saying the starting center guy. Where are you gonna find a 7'1", like 7'1" guys that are gonna play through a fall, that's gonna get up and still get you a block at the 3-point line? Like that's value, bro. That's
it's value, man. But I rather pay
valuable to bring.
Yeah, I'd rather pay I'd rather pay freaking Hassan Whiteside $5 million a year to do what he does.
But Hassan Whiteside doesn't do what Mitchell Robinson does, bro.
Oh my God.
When have you ever seen Hassan Whiteside? When have you?
Listen,
I
give you this.
Scour the internet. You can scour the internet right now, and you can look up Hassan Whiteside highlights. You're not going to scour the internet and find a Hassan Whiteside play where on one end, on defense, he gets knocked down to the floor. He gets up and gets a block.
Is Mitchell Robinson going to do that every defensive play? Is that going to happen every time down?
He's not. But Hassan Whiteside is not going to give you that for $5 million ever.
Listen to me. That play is something that's like unique. That's a unique play. But has Mitchell Robinson ever averaged 17 points a game in his life? Has he ever averaged 14 rebounds in his life? Has he ever averaged 3 blocks in his life?
Will you let's look at the
basketball reference. Basketball reference. I would rather pay Hassan Whiteside, even though Mitchell Robinson bust Hassan Whiteside's ass one time when they played against each other. But if you're talking about paying Mitchell Robinson 20 and giving Hassan Whiteside 5, I'm giving Hassan Whiteside $5 million.
Okay, so would you give Mitchell Robinson, if you had $5 million to spend? That's it. $5 million. Mm-hmm. Do you pay Hassan Whiteside or Mitchell Robinson?
Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, okay. So if you had $6 million.
If I had $6 million and I had a choice between the two, I would pick Mitchell Robinson.
Okay,
but if you're talking about the market, then Mitchell Robinson is going to get, like $86 million over 4 years. I'm paying Hassan Whiteside 1 year, $5 million. I'm not paying Mitchell Robinson $20 million a year.
So then after that 1 year is up, what are you going to do at the center position? Because Hassan Whiteside's gone. You got to keep doing. We're thinking like we're the GMs. We're the GMs. Mitchell Robinson's gone. You paid Hassan Whiteside that vet minimum, and you negotiated him for $5 million, right? you thought about vet minimum. He demanded the $5 million. You needed a center. You gave it to him, right?
Right.
And then he's got maybe a year left in him. You give him a vet minimum the following year, and he's out of the league. Now you're back in the same position that you've been in.
Well, I gotta call JaVale McGee and see what he's doing. If
JaVale McGee is on the same age platform as Hassan Whiteside. Cut it out. They're both
and he's worth $5 million. He's worth $5 million.
He's gone. He's
worth $5 million though.
I'm saying. I look at it like this. I want to solidify that 5 position. In reality, none of our positions on the Knicks team for the last 20. Andre Drummond, Lord have mercy, Anthony. Don't.
When you say Lord have mercy, would you pay? Would you pay Mitchell Robinson $20 million? Lock him up because we need the continuity, all the craziness you're saying, right? Or would you get Andre Drummond for probably the minimum at this point?
Andre Drummond for the minimum, or Mitchell Robinson for?
Yeah, because what is Andre Drummond making right now in Philly? He's making peanuts right now.
God damn it. God damn it. Okay.
Listen.
Okay,
if there was a choice.
See, that's the thing. That is a bad comparison.
No.
That's a bad comparison. Here's why.
Oh, yeah.
Andre Drummond has done exponentially better his entire career,
right,
than Mitchell Robinson. Andre Drummond deserves more. They say, what do you say? You're as good as your last game. Andre Drummond deserves more. I don't give a damn what nobody says. Like, the numbers that he's had his entire career, like, they're not no pushover numbers, bro. Like, 7 points a game is rookie season. 13, 16, 13, 15, 17, 14, 17.
Yo,
and
guess
then
what
down
he's making
to
next
11
year?
with LA.
Guess what he's making next year?
What he's making next year? He's probably got the vet minimum, right?
Yeah, he's making $2.4 million a year.
That's, bro. And you mean to tell me that a guy that was giving you that, and blocks 1.6, 1.6, 1.9, 1.4, 1, 1.6, 1.7, 1.6, 1.7, 1.4, 1 down with the Lakers.
So this is what I'm saying. My man, Naruto Goku, he just came out. He said Drummond is worth at least $10 million. Right now, his value is so low, just like the other guy, Cousins. Right now, Cousins is just a minimum guy. Cousins is probably worth a lot more, but Cousins is probably worth 10. You know what I'm saying? Drummond is probably worth 10. So now I give you this. If Mitchell Robinson wants 20, I'll tell him go and go to the check casher place and see what they do for you. You know what I'm saying? And if you have the opportunity to possibly get a Drummond probably for 10 million, because now his value is eradicated now, and say like even add like a Cousins to that, or not, you don't even have to do that. Just bring Drummond in here with Jericho Sims in year 2. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have that for 10 million than signing a 4-year contract for Mitchell Robinson with 20 a year.
Okay, so would you give Mitchell Robinson 40 million 4 years?
No, wait, 40 million 4 years?
No.
Well, that's so. I mean, I got to pull out the calculator, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a man of a certain age,
$10
man.
million a year, bro.
Yeah,
you wouldn't give Mitchell Robinson $10 million a year. You just was willing to give
I would give him $10 million a year.
You would give him $10 million. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right, Knicks fans, do you see what I'm doing? You see how slowly we're moving in to the tax bracket of the market. The tax bracket of the market according to Eru's paychecks and what he's willing to give out. Now we're at $10 million a year. I'm telling you that for me, that's the negotiation point.
Right. But you was already going to give him $21 million a year.
No,
you just
I
like, fuck it, 20 million.
I'm asking the question because what I'm saying is the dumbass Utah Jazz gave the guy that's giving you just a little bit less production $45 million. I'm not willing to spend that money on a big man. No, most certainly not. We could. Mitchell Robinson's asking price from his agent might be half of that. It might be half of that, but you negotiate the other way. So now I'm going to give you this. Would you give Mitchell Robinson, would you give DeMarcus Cousins, let's go, would you give DeMarcus Cousins in his best years, non-injury, knee injury, DeMarcus Cousins, would you give him $15 million to play on your team?
Sacramento, when he was giving you 20, like, you know, all those crazy numbers.
I'll go New Orleans. When he was,
but even in New Orleans, he was putting up big time numbers during that time. You would have to max out a player like that.
Okay, so you max out a player like that. Got you.
Yeah, now he could create his own shot.
Okay, so now we talk about the market. Does Mitchell Robinson's current market and potential demand him $15 million a year?
If DeMarcus Cousins is getting 15, hell no, Mitchell Robinson don't. Are you talking about DeMarcus Cousins in his prime versus Mitchell Robinson right now? That's what you're saying?
No, but with DeMarcus Cousins, we know DeMarcus Cousins wasn't going to make $15 million a year. He was going to demand close up to 38 to 45. We know that. That's where he was at. I'm saying, based off of what DeMarcus Cousins could give you right now on this team, would you give him $15 million?
Hells no.
Okay. So, but would you give Mitchell Robinson $15 million?
Once it starts getting to 15, then now I have to be like, listen, you gotta, you know, work it out with your agent. And you know what I'm saying?
So work it out with your agent. So now we take a guy that we drafted at the number 36 pick,
second round,
32 pick, something like that. We drafted him. We developed continuity. He was a starter, only making $1.2 million a year. Right? He gave you the same amount of production over the last 3 years, and you value what he gives you on the floor, and you value continuity. Do you give Mitchell Robinson $15 million a year?
There is no situation that you could paint for me that I would give Mitchell Robinson $15 million a year. There's none.
Hey,
none.
Listen, I'm telling you that if Mitchell Robinson told me 3 years, $45 million, I'm telling you, here you go. That's $15 million a year. You can we can set that and set it up like an Evan Fournier contract where the first year is 13, the next year is 14, you know, the last year is 17 or whatever hell. I do that. I do that in a heartbeat. But again, what that tells me is that the things that you value on the floor as far as production is different than what I value. That's all that tells me.
If Julius Randle's not in the game, right? Let's say we have injuries and stuff like that. Let's say Julius Randle's not playing. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say doomsday happened and just Mitchell Robinson is the only guy. Iron Man play all 82 games, right? He's not gonna get us in the playoffs. I mean, there's no and then if we're paying him that much money, you know, over 4 years, that exceeds all the other contracts. It's not even nobody's even on the same timeline at that point. That means you invested in this guy because you wanted him to be your anchor up until a certain point or whatever. I mean, I just don't like that. I would rather invest in somebody else. You know, I don't care.
Your best starter support roles are making 15 mil. The best support roles are making 15 mil.
Well, our support roles are making 10. I'd rather be the Knicks.
Okay. Fair enough, right? Bro.
Yeah, I'd rather be the Knicks. I mean, because you got guys coming off the bench making 15, 20 million that's coming off the bench. I'd rather sign Burke for 10. You know, I'd rather sign Noel for 10. You know, for like a 2 years plus one contract. I'd rather do that.
So what would Mitchell Robinson have to do? What would Mitchell Robinson's numbers? Because I gave you what we both agree on what his potential could be this season based off of the way the starter line is constructed and everything is going to be spaced out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that what I project for Mitchell Robinson is 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal, right? That's where I think that Mitchell Robinson could be at. I don't think that he's going to be that guy that's going to be like number 2 in blocks this season, just because of the way Tom Thibodeau's defense is currently constructed.
You blaming him? You blame Tom Thibodeau for the reason why he can't block shots?
No. What I'm saying is Mitchell Robinson's peak at shot blocking had everything to do with the Knicks' bad defense and Mitchell Robinson having to close out at the 3. That's what he was doing. That's where he was getting the majority of his blocks from. So what I'm saying is Tom Thibodeau's defense forces Mitchell Robinson to sit right there in that box, right? Don't move out of that box. And he's giving you an easy 2 blocks a game, right? So I'm saying at max, Mitchell Robinson may give you 2.2 at max. If we want to extend him out, 2.2 blocks a game, right? Because the floor is now spread out, 11 to 13 points a game. He still maintains the same amount of rebounds, same amount of blocks, same amount of steals, right? At max. So you got a guy that's let's put in the middle. We'll go 12 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal as a support role starting center. What do you give that guy?
You're talking about just what Mitch Robinson's been doing, basically?
No. He's giving you an extra point.
Right.
He's giving you an extra 2 points, we'll say. I mean, we both agreed that, right? We both agreed that if he was doing 8 points 8 points on average, 8.4, right? That's where he was at, 8.4, right? On a congested, no space. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and Mitchell Robinson, not Julius Randle, RJ Barrett in the corner give you space. Kemba Walker's ability to drive and demand attention, go into the paint, gives Mitchell Robinson free reign. Julius Randle's ability to hold on to that ball and draw a double team leaves Mitchell Robinson as the only open guy because of Evan Fournier's ability to shoot, and that guy's got a lock on him. Kemba Walker's ability to score, and that guy's got a lock on him. RJ Barrett's ability to shoot at 40%, and that guy's got a lock on him. So we all agreed that Mitchell Robinson is the guy that the defense is going to unfortunately have to leave from time to time to help out at the center spot, because nobody else is going to be able to do it consistently. At least if they do it, it'll be the first 10 games, and everybody's like, all right, we realize that we got to play man, right? And when they realize that the double team isn't working, or the double team is working, Mitchell Robinson's the fail-safe guy for, dribble, drive, lobs. What his center ability grants him to do, right? So what I'm saying is, based off of Kemba Walker's production and ability to pass the ball, does Mitchell Robinson get at least 1 to 2 more lob attempts from 8.4?
I'm still not paying Mitchell Robinson no more than 10 million. It's not. There's no way that you could paint it. I'm waiting for you to tell me something different.
Big fans. This is what they do, people. This is what they do. The cognitive, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be a prophet again, and I'm cool with that. Mitchell Robinson is gonna average that amount of many points. And we're going to have to reevaluate this question again come the offseason, assuming Mitchell Robinson doesn't get traded. We're going to have to reevaluate this again. And we're going to say, damn, Mitchell Robinson scored 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal.
But that's not something that's so dominant that I'm like, wow, man, we got to give him 20 million. It's one thing. I get what you're saying. Like if everything works good, the continuity and stuff like that, I'm down with keeping Mitchell Robinson, for an extended amount of time. But I'm not looking to lock him up for 80 million, that type of thing. I'm just not looking to. I will never look to do that. No matter what you say, I will never do it. Because I
Fair
mean, you're
enough.
talking about an extra lob. He is going to get an extra. I think he'll get an extra lob. But I mean, he gets a lot of lobs anyway. Sometimes when he gets like those perfect games, sometimes like that game when he bust this guy Whiteside's ass. He was like basically like he didn't miss a shot all game, but they were all like lobs and putbacks and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna. I mean, he's not gonna do that every game. Be like 20 points a game off of lobs and putbacks. It's not happening. I mean, 10 points a game. I mean, that's not really something so like crazy. You know, it's like to me that's like a basic skill in the NBA. It's basic.
Look, Gregory Castillo says it. With the stats that I'm giving, Mitchell Robinson, 12
but
million.
that's $12 million. You saying 15 and you talking about $21 million a year? There's no way in hell I'm giving him more than $15 million. No way in hell. 10 million maybe. 10 million is what I would give him. 12 million is the max. That's the cap right there. I'm not giving him no more than 12 million a year.
Okay. So my whole point in the reason I painted that picture is to show you that you do value his potential.
I don't know about his potential. What is his potential? You're talking about a plus 2 points a game. That's not potential. He's just playing on a better team.
Sure, but what I'm saying is you even value what he brings. If you think that there's other centers in the league that can give you that amount of production for a veterans minimum, or I'll jump in the draft and give you that.
Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's that guy.
I agree with that. I would give Andre Drummond $12 million a year right now.
Yeah, if it was a choice, let's say like you said, we're gonna have a negotiation, right? So if Mitchell Robinson's people say, "Yo, we want $20 million," that's it. Then I'm gonna be like, "All right," and he's gonna be like, "What do you mean, all right? All right." I'm gonna be like, "All right, go ahead, go get it." You know what I'm saying? Then let him see if he's gonna get $20 million a year from somewhere else. Because I mean, it's quite possibly somebody would give him money. Because these guys, I mean, I feel like every day some bum is getting a max, like more than he should get. Every day somebody's getting signed for more than he should get. The Knicks are not doing that. The Knicks haven't done that. Like everyone wants to talk bad about like how the Knicks are not spending the money and look at the bums that we're signing. But I mean, we're being responsible. A guy like Alec Burke held us down or whatever. But we could have easily went another route and paid another guy like all this money for over 4 years, and then we will be screwed right now if we did that.
I agree. So here's what I'm getting at, right? This is the year that we evaluate that, right? I'm looking at the chat right now. Alan Metz says Mitch doesn't do enough. There's more to it than scoring. How about setting a pick, passing the ball, seeing the court, spacing the floor, putting the ball on the floor?
Basic NBA basketball.
I got you.
That is not something you pay $20 million for basic. You mean a big man? Like, listen, yo, he sets a pick. Yo, that is a basic NBA. That's basic street basketball.
Right. I got you. Right. And I think the only discrepancy in Alan Metz's representation of Mitchell Robinson is scoring. I'm not expecting Mitchell Robinson to be like this all-out scorer, which is why I only beefed his number up to 3 points added a game based off of what we know what the other players can do. Right? I'm not, and I gave him the same baseline everywhere else of the averages. We both just agreed that his increase in points could go up based off of what Kemba Walker does and based off of the way the defenses are going to play us. So that's the only reason I gave him an extra 3 points. 2 more attempts and 1 foul shot extra will give us, 13 points at max.
There's a reason why Miles Turner's name was in the mix and stuff. He'll give you. He's basically been doing 12 points a game every year. One year he had 13, one year he had 14. He's not a good rebounder. He's averaging 6 rebounds per year. But he's going to give you a lot of blocks. He's been averaging 2 blocks a game for his career, but he maxed out at 3.4 last year. So the reason why his value is a little bit more than Mitch Robinson's is just for the simple fact that if he gets the ball, he's not going to be like and then turn around looking to pass it back to whoever. If he gets the ball and there's an opportunity for him to score, he can actually score. Not saying that we're looking to dump the ball to him.
But again, is that I'm following you with Miles Turner, right? Stats are really just 4 more points a game than Mitchell Robinson. Everything else is pretty even across the board.
Right.
Everything else, 4 more points a game. Bro, that's what we're looking at. 4 more points a game.
But it's the manner in which he scores these
Come
points.
Come on, bro. Don't give me that. 4 more
I did that. I gave you that. If Mitchell Robinson gets the ball, he cannot score. If he gets the ball, if it's not an alley-oop, he cannot score.
Bro.
If he's not catching a rebound, dunking it back, he cannot score.
So again, this brings me back to the same question that I had earlier today. Is it because Mitchell Robinson can't do it? Or is it because the offensive set isn't
Mitchell Robinson cannot make a layup. If Mitchell Robinson got the ball, he cannot fake it, dribble, and make a layup. He cannot do that. Miles Turner could do that.
I don't agree with that. Because
Mitchell Robinson has never done that.
He's never been in a position to do that, man.
In every basketball game, you have a potential to do that. If he gets the rebound, he just goes straight up. He doesn't get the rebound, bounce and spin, and do a hook shot. He's never done that in his career. He's never done that in his career.
And that's fine, sure. Right? We can say that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with him only doing putback dunks. I got you. Right? I wouldn't agree that he's never done that in his career, but the majority of it, yes.
Never done it in his career.
Put back dunks. I got you. But what I'm saying is Miles Turner is only doing 2 more shots a game, bro. 2 more shots a game. That's it. And we're looking at Miles Turner like this is the guy. Would you pay Miles Turner?
Well, Miles Turner's making
hold on. For 2 more shots a game, on average, you would give Miles Turner $15 million a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Just for 2 more
I would give him
shots.
$15 million a year because listen, if
you just told me that you would give Mitchell Robinson $10 million. And he's going, and you just agreed that he's going to get 2 more shots a game with Kemba Walker.
Maybe.
You just told me that. He's going to get 2 more shots a game. We both agreed to that. We damn near did a virtual YouTube handshake on that and came to an agreement that we're going to give him 2 more shots a game.
This is my thing.
And Miles Turner's got that right now because he's always had a better point guard. And
if
now
Julius Randle was hurt, right? We cannot rely on Mitchell Robinson to give us anything more than 10 points a game. If Miles Turner is the guy that's down low, if Miles Turner is the guy, that's left over with Julius Randle out or whatever, if we experience injuries, you can give the ball to Miles Turner and tell me, get me a bucket.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. He's never done that for you.
He's never done it for me because he plays for Indiana.
Bro, he's never done that for Indiana. You've never given the ball to Miles Turner and said, "Yo, get me a bucket right now. We need to win this game."
You can give him the ball, not win the game. I didn't say that. I didn't say get us to win this game, but he can get you a bucket. He can get the ball and score.
Nobody's ever said, Miles Turner, this play right here is for you. Give me a spin move and get me a bucket. Give me something and get me a bucket right now.
But he can do that. We can just go to any highlight tape that Miles Turner has, and he has all that in his bag.
Bro,
if you watch Mitchell Robinson's thing, everything is just him catching alley-oops and blocking shots.
I think that's crazy to say, and here's why. Here's why. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. We'll go with career stats. 3-point percentage is 35% from 3, right? Now, that 35% from 3 comes from 2.4 shots a game from the 3-point line. 2.4. That means he misses one a game. He takes one again. He might make it. From that point, he's got a 50% chance of making it from 3. Mitchell, all I'm getting at is Mitchell Robinson's setup on this team has never put him in a position to say, yo, Mitch, can you get me a bucket now? Can you shoot? Hey, Mitch, shoot the ball from 3. Hey, Mitch, give me a mid-range jumper. It's been set up for him not to take it. All I'm saying is Mitchell Robinson was not taking the shots. So therefore, because he's not been taking the shots, I don't know if he can make it. I'm not going to say that he can't like everybody else will. I'm not going to say that he can't. I'm simply going to say I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it in game yet. I want to see it. And has he had the opportunity to do it? Yes. There's been many dribble handoff plays where he's got at the top of the key where we're like, yo, Mitch, shoot the goddamn ball. And he hasn't. But that frustration that I carry in that frustration that I carry in that lets me know that maybe it's a matter of what they're trying to do and establish on the floor foundationally first. So this right now is the year that I'm looking at Mitchell Robinson and saying, okay, this is the year that you got to show me something. Because I'm cool with retaining you and giving you $15 million a year. I would like to.
See, like, you know how long we've been talking about this? We've been talking about this for like 30 minutes, man. But like the reason why I made I keep bringing up Frank Ntilikina is for reasons like this. Mitchell Robinson, like you're taking Mitchell Robinson down to Frank hive right now. You're making a Mitchell Robinson hive where like you're like saying imaginary stuff and you want to pay him money that he didn't earn yet. You know, it's kind of to me that it's like that's what the whole it's like a drawn out argument.
Bro, I'm not saying pay him money right now. I'm simply saying that this is the year that we evaluate what he does. And based off of the production that he's given us on average, the 10 to 12 million is what I'm willing to start at. But if we want to beef it up, yeah, I've been there. When I gave the $20 million, I was fishing to see where you were at. I said that. I mentioned it. I'm fishing to say where you at. But I'm telling you that based off his production, bro, $10 million, if he gives us the same amount of production at $10 million, I'm retaining Mitchell Robinson. If he gives us his average production right now, we just paid Nerlens Noel the average production that Mitchell Robinson has given. We paid Nerlens Noel $10 million a year to do the same exact thing that Mitchell Robinson has done his entire career.
We agree with that. But that's what I said. I would never pay Mitchell Robinson no more than 10, maybe 12. You know, if the Knicks really wanted him, but I'm not paying him no more than that. 10 million is my number. That's it. No matter what he does.
10 million is the number that you give him right now based off of his average production. But what I'm saying is, if you give him the extra lob, the extra foul shot, the same amount of rebounds.
It doesn't matter. You said that a million times. It doesn't matter what he extra. If he gets one extra lob, one extra foul shot, 3 points, now I got to pay him more than $10 million because he got an extra lob. He got an extra lob.
What are you gonna do, people?
Yo, an extra lob, and I gotta pay him. I gotta pay him $5 extra million because he got an extra lob.
I'm saying, where do we start the asking price at? If you want to say 12, 10 to 12,
I say cool 10, 12 if the Knicks want to give him more than that. I say 10. That's it. That's the most, and I would love to give him less than that, but 10 is the most. And I'm not giving him more than that.
Okay. See, right?
The way we are talking, the way you're like going on about Mitchell Robinson, like Mitchell Robinson is the most important basketball player in it because we didn't talk about not one player as long as we've been talking about Mitchell Robinson. Right now, we've been talking about Mitchell Robinson for like almost 40 minutes right now. For Mitchell Robinson alone. So like we talked about Julius Randle, we talked about RJ Barrett, we talked about a little bit about Walker, a little bit about Fournier, but we talked about Mitchell Robinson for 40 minutes.
minutes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the answer to this whole podcast is who is the most important player for Mr. Evergreen is Mitchell freaking Robinson. He is the most important player right now because I keep saying the same thing. $10 million is the most I would give. I would give him less if if the market for him was 20. See ya. I would sign anybody else. I would find somebody else that would give me that production, or just move up the guys that we have. I'd rather just move up Noel. Hopefully, Jericho Sims does something up. Is ready to play. I'd rather just use our own guys than waste $20 million on a guy that's only giving me 10 points and you're talking about 7-8 rebounds. Wow, you know what I'm saying? That's not even worth 40 minutes. It's not really worth 40 minutes.
Fair enough. Cheers, Knicks fans. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not worth the conversation because if Mitchell Robinson goes and gets 20, okay, cool. Give me JaVale McGee for the minimum. This guy Andre Drummond is not going to make no more than 10 because he screwed his own career up. He should have never went to LA. You know what I'm saying? He should have went to the Knicks. But he decided to go to LA.
Wait.
Andre Drummond ruined his career by going to the Lakers because now he went from 27 million and now he's making 2 million. He ruined his career going to the Lakers.
So you agree with me that he should have been a Knick, bro?
He should have been a Knick, but I mean, it would have been too much for us because look at the market now. Because now we save money, so he screwed his own self trying to chase a championship. Now next he only made 2 million this year. Next year you ain't making no more than 10. And God bless you if you make it.
So would you have given So the veterans minimum was for what? For Andre Drummond, 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Would you have given him $5 million a year?
Hell yeah, I would give him $5 million a year.
Thank God.
Yo, if we got Andre Drummond for $5 million a year this year, because he only got 2. I don't understand why he went to Philly either, because he got real estate, and MB, MB got real estate in his brain. So why would he go to Philly? I don't get that. He's an idiot. He should have went to the Knicks. If he was going to sign for $2 million in Philly, he should have went to the Knicks for 5 or something like that. Or even 10. He could have went to the Knicks for 10. Now, if you're talking about getting Andre Drummond for 10, now I'm trading Mitchell Robinson at that point, because Mitchell Robinson, you're talking about his market could be 20. If his market is 20, then see ya. Let's see who else we can get. Package him with whoever, and let's get a position, like a player in another position that's going to take us to a championship. Because I don't care about like in the beginning you was talking about, it's not our money. It is our money. This is our team. I'm not going to pay Mitchell Robinson all this money and then we're not winning no championship. I don't care about these guys getting their bread. It's all about the Knicks winning the championship.
Okay, so I will say that I like that analogy. I like that idea of Mitchell Robinson getting booted because we think that's where he thinks that's where he's worth, and Andre Drummond coming here for $5 million. I'm doing that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I was almost the only person in Knicks fandom that was like, yo, we gotta get Drummond. I felt like I was the only guy, like as much amount of people that was jumping down my throat about it. I'm getting people on Instagram, on Twitter, Evergreen, you're an idiot. People on Facebook harassing me. Oh, you're dumb as hell. The fact that I have another one of the primary Knicks content creators that's agreeing with me, that's expressing the same exact, it makes me feel vindicated. So first and foremost, thank you that there's somebody else that realizes that Andre Drummond needed to pull his head out of his ass.
Yo, let me say something about Alawise. Shout out to Alawise. I wanted to shout y'all not too long ago on Sim Show because you said something ill, but the guys over there went to another subject. But anyway, I'm just gonna address what you say here. Eru, stop trying to block Mitch from the bag. I guess you just telling jokes and stuff like this, but I don't care what these guys make. Let them make whatever. Who blocks people from bags? When you have a podcast that's on for a certain amount of time, you got 70, 80 sometimes 150 people in the live sometimes, and then when you check to see the numbers, and there's like 16 thumbs up. That's blocking. That is blocking. You know what I'm saying? 150 people watching the podcast, only 16 people hit a thumbs up. Come on, man.
Hey.
And right now we got 80 something people right now consistently for like damn near 3 hours. And when I check it, there's gonna be 5 thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? That is blocking the bag, because you know damn well that's gonna block the all the algorithms. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that are not putting out content like this, and they're not saying anything. It's just a bunch of open air. Them saying, "Hey, Knicks fans, it's your boy." And then they pause, and they're not saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? These are like just random podcasts, but then you see them, they got like 100 thumbs up, and like, you know, I'm ranting here, but like to block Mitchell Robinson's bag, man, fuck Mitchell Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Mitchell Robinson. This is a Knicks podcast. I don't give a damn about Mitchell Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson gets $20 million playing for another team, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? I hope Frank Ntilikina gets a contract. I keep bringing him up because look, we've been talking about Mitchell Robinson for 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I would not spend no more than $10 million on this cat. That's the end of it. You know, if he can get $20 million from another franchise, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? Can I hold something? You know, can you click my podcast and give me a thumbs up? Can you subscribe to the podcast, please? There's people that make comments on the videos and they're not subscribed. Constantly commenting on every video and they're not subscribed to the podcast. So, you know, everybody blocks everybody's bag. You know what I'm saying? So that's an evil rant right there.
Habitual bag blockers. That's what we're gonna call y'all.
Yeah.
Habitual bag blockers. Listen, guys. You know what I've always tried to do is I try my hardest. If I ever take a position on any given topic, I will always take that position from jump, and you will know, right? Just like we did earlier on in the show, right? I took the position of Obi Toppin is the most important player for this upcoming season, and I gave all of the justifications why. I painted the picture. Like, this is the opinions that I carry are not some like bullshit stuff that I've not put any legitimate thought into. So much so that I even got Eru, who was initially against it. Watch the beginning of the show. Initially against it, that after I painted the picture and made my explanation, he's like, yo, I agree with you. Right? Right? Yo, I agree with you. Right? So we're on the same page with that. Because I put a lot of thought. Like, I put too much. Bro, I just drove from Virginia.
I know you do.
I just drove from Virginia today. And the whole time that I'm driving from Virginia, bro, Virginia, where I came from in like Richmond, Fort Lee area, it's either a 4-hour drive or a 7-hour drive to get back up to my house in South Jersey. And that whole time, I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, who is the most important player on this team? And I went through it in my mind and all the things, the way this team is constructed. And I'm like, yo, I came to the conclusion that it's Obi Toppin, right? And what did I do? I said, yo, Eru, I got a content idea. What's up? In fact, because it's the weekend, I wasn't even expecting you to answer my text message. I was expecting, yo, he probably had like ride Playland or some shit with his family, blah, blah. He out kicking it. He hit me back like, let's do it. Right? We talk off air. He thinks because I'm wearing a 9-God jersey that I'm going to say RJ. Nah, it's Obi. Right? I put 6.5 hours of thought behind this. All right? This isn't some bullshit that Evergreen is just coming up with. I really think about what I'm saying. Right? And I laid my position down up front. Gave the justification why. Everything else that I've done after this has all been just probing to see. Not agreeing or disagreeing or even taking a solid position. I agree with you that I would start at $10 to $12 million for Mitchell Robinson. right? I agree with you there. What we pay him is all incumbent on what he does this season, which is where the negotiation would start, simply because he had the opportunity to get extended last season and he didn't, because they're like, bro, you just broke your hand and you broke your foot.
So the Knicks are in agreement with me.
All right.
He's not worth an extension.
So again, I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
We're on the same page when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm taking the simple Socratic approach and saying, what is it that Eru values? And it's evident that you don't give a damn about the starting position and the numbers that are currently given from that starting center position, that you're willing to move Nerlens Noel up and pay another guy for the cheap. I got it. Now we have dug into the mind of Eru because I'm the other panelist on the show for the day. I've already letting you dig into the matter of the mind of Evergreen G. I let you guys dig into that. Now let's dig into Eru and see where he's at. We see where he's at. So based off of where he's at, that there's a higher expectation in that center position in order to give that center position $20 million. All I wanted to do was just check to see what would it take for Eru to say this. And even at this point right now, bro, I don't even know what the hell it would take for Mitchell Robinson to get $20 million according to Eru.
Absolutely nothing.
You hold a tough bargain. Like if Mitchell Robinson gave you Jokic numbers, you're like, take a hike, you chump.
Yo, listen, Julius Randle is giving us 20, 10, 6, 40% from three. Great percentages from the field. He's shooting free throws. He's doing everything. And he's playing a hell of a lot of minutes. He earned his $26 million a year. That's what he should get, $26 million a year. He probably should have got more in the open. If you're talking about open market, Julius Randle probably gave up $100 million. Shame on him. You know what I'm saying? But he's thinking about the team the same way I'm thinking about it. He's like, listen, right, if I take a little bit, I still got money, more money than I could ever spend. So I don't need to be greedy and ask for the extra 10, because that extra 10 is going to be needed to get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that extra 10, I don't want to give it to Mitchell Robinson. That's not the reason why Julius Randle put $100 million and threw it out the window. Julius Randle didn't save the Knicks money for us to just give it to Mitchell Robinson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If anything, if we do sign Mitchell Robinson, it's going to be a sign and trade to get Karl Anthony Towns or something like that.
Oh,
because you want to talk about somebody that's making 20-something million in that realm. Somebody like that should get the spot.
Okay, so wow, I like that idea. The only reason that I was ever opposed to a Karl Anthony Towns idea was simply because him and Tibbs did this thing here. They did, Captain America Civil War, type shit. They fought, they rah. No, I'm the player. No, I'm the coach. I am the GM type shit, and then Tibbs got fired and Cat, essentially got what he wanted. Well, yo, I'm not, and for Con Man, no, he didn't quite blow my mind, right? Because I've been, again, we saw how I went down the rabbit hole train of the Cam Reddish idea to get Zion in the future, blah, blah. Like that 6.5 hour drive was a real, it was a real eye opener to oh, well, maybe Cat could be a good option if we trade Mitchell Robinson. Cause I'm thinking about the importance of each player. I laid down, what could we do with the amount of draft picks that we have to get this guy and potentially, get out of the second round and get to the third round or win a championship. What are the steps we could take? So I've thought about Cat for a while. And my only objection to Cat was the fact that Tom Thibodeau coached him before and they clashed heads. But a lot of people over the last, 6 months where, like, you know, Cat may have changed based off of the passing of his mom and his maturity level and all that other stuff.
Not just his
And,
mom,
you
he
know,
lost a few family members
he
to
lost a few
COVID.
members. Right. So
Yeah.
maybe he's matured and he's understanding the value of life and what's important and leadership and, you know, the whole story, you know. Again, I'm a guy who's infatuated. I'm a guy who's infatuated with the story, right? So bringing a Jersey boy here would be dope, right? A Jersey boy who allegedly was a Knicks fan. I don't know, whatever. We'd have to get us a Evan Fournier interview for me to interrogate his ass and figure out what's up. I would get Kev. I would move Mitchell Robinson, 2 first rounders and 2 second rounders, and give me Cat.
That's it for Cat. Mitchell Robinson, two first rounder and
2
what?
first rounders, 2 second rounders
For Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would have to give more than that, because I mean, like that's putting a lot of value on Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is not. Mitchell Robinson is not. It's not that guy, man. Mitchell Robinson is not gonna. It's not gonna get you Cat by himself.
What does Eru to Any Star give up to get Cat here?
Well, we have.
Now, hold on. Let me preface this. Don't give me the what would it take to get him? Give me the what would you be willing to give up at max to get Cat here? Because those are 2 different answers.
Not really. It's always going to be the same answer. Like we have excess in contracts. So we got these rookies, Grimes and McBride. So if we feel like these guys are worth it, you know, that they're going to be able to contribute, you know, and get minutes and stuff like that, then you're talking about Burks is gone, Noel is gone, you know, possibly, you know, I don't know about Obi. So I mean, if you decide to do that, then you have to make another move to get another big man here. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways that we can do that, but that's the basis, because those are the guys that have the most money. Maybe Derrick Rose send him over there if possible, because just for the simple fact that he makes what, like 14 or 15 million a year, just to pack the money in, because you have the match salary. You have to match salary to get Cat over here. But here's the thing: if would you pay Mitchell Robinson 20 and say this is my guy, or would you look to trade him for Cat? Who wins you a championship? Who potentially takes you down the road to win a championship? Katino Mobley, I keep saying Katino Mobley, Karl Anthony Towns, or Mitchell Robinson.
Hey, Katino Mobley was dope, but I'm moving Mitch for Cat. Absolutely, I would do to make the money work, or to get the money close. For Cat, I would give Mitch, Noel, Burks, a first rounder, 2 second rounders,
whatever it takes.
And then I'm cool with jumping in the JaVale McGee bag.
Yeah, at that point, because you're gonna exhaust these contracts to get the main guy. So now JaVale McGee that would give you the same thing Mitchell Robinson would give you, will come here for the cheap. You know, saying maybe Andre Drummond is gonna come over here again for the minimum. Now you start playing those stupid games where who's gonna come over here now for the cheap? Like I mentioned, what's the guy that I mentioned? Beasley. You know, guys like that. Those guys are gonna be the guys on the bench now. You know what I'm saying? But now you're going for a championship, because now you think you have the guys now. You're talking about Kemba, Fournier, Randall, Cat, and RJ. Holy shit! You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking all-star team. Julius Randle, RJ, Cat, Kemba, and Fournier. Starting 5? That's crazy. So I mean, like, whatever we got to do to package to make that happen, I think we should do it.
Right. This guy tricky Nick says this guy's pissing me off. Just saying.
Yeah, don't worry about Tricky Nick, man. Tricky Nick, if you're gonna worry about him, man, he's been roasting you for like the last freaking hour.
Oh, has he? Oh, yeah, I ain't paying attention to this guy.
Yeah, he's been roasting you for like the last 2 hours.
I like it though. I welcome it. because
Oh my God.
a lot of people seem to think that I'm in. It's so odd. Like they seem to think that I'm in opposition with their
No,
sentiment. I'm only going to
you're an
ask them
intellectual.
questions.
You're an intellectual. I get the whole thing. That's why I got you on it because I want to, like people wonder why I got State on there. State says a lot of bug style stuff, but I love State. So me and State go all back and forth about various different things. I got you on here for the same reason, so people can see a different perspective.
Right.
You know.
Right. And my perspective isn't really. It's not the perspective that I bring is not really a Boo says Chicky wants all the smoke. It's not really a matter of listen, when you're not a content creator, like some of the things that seem to happen, it might go over your head, right? And this is when you get the people that get mad and say stuff like, oh, this guy pisses me off. They're not like critical thinking, analytical type guys. I'm saying what I'm saying as a matter of bringing forth, bringing the mind to a point where it says, okay, let me discuss some type of options in this world of NBA. At no point have I said I'm gonna give Mitchell Robinson $22 million or $20 million a year. You can go back at the tape. You can jump back and look back at this podcast and re-review. I didn't say that. All I did was say, wow, and ask you another question. That's what we do. We ask questions here. So when somebody like Tricky Nicky or whoever comes on a show or thinks about coming on a show, first up, like, you don't really know me like that. I'm assuming you don't know Eru like that either. The show that you want to bring that smoke to that I'm on is, there's another show that you can do that when this isn't that type. You got to establish those type of opinions and really, solidify yourself with some type of something.
Yeah, without giving up like the recipe, I like to have conversations like this. I don't like to have a big panel where everyone can't really get their shit off and really say what they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like this. I like you on other people's shows, but when you come on here, you really get to go. This is Evergreen. You know what I'm saying? So everyone gets to see the full thing about Evergreen. Because listen, if you're gonna see Evergreen on the show, look, we've been on for 3 hours. That's Evergreen. That's an Evergreen show right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just two dudes talking. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That tells you right there.
So 74 people were watching. Hit that like button. I got 58 likes. We kind of close up there. Hit that likes. We got 4 thumbs down. I don't know why, but hey, it's
because of the rant. That's why. Probably because of the rant.
Because of the rant. Because he's talking about for the Frank Lunakeela rant.
Yeah, the Frank. Those are all. That's the Frank hive. That's the last few people of the Frank hive.
The Frank. So all right, let's pose this next question: did the Frank hive turn into the Mitchell Robinson hive, or or the Quentin Grimes hive? Because I think those guys are just as nuts as Frank fans.
Well, I just did a whole pod about that, man. Just but like I see people like kind of getting on me on Twitter about it, but they don't really understand where I'm coming from. The thing is, it's like when there's a player that you like, right? You can't like think about him in imagination. You have to think about what's happening in front of you, the forward development. You can't say like if this guy, everybody else is involved without this one guy, actually doing it for himself. So I mean, like, that's why I keep bringing him up, whatever. Because a guy like McBride, you don't have to worry about that because McBride could play. If McBride gets in the game, he's gonna produce. It's not gonna be like, yo, they're not putting him in the right spots to play. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That is bullshit. Either my thing is either you can play or you cannot.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
So right now, all 15 guys that we potentially gonna have, everybody could play. So everybody could play. It's not an imagination. So I mean, like say Mitchell Robinson. We're talking about Mitchell Robinson a lot. I agree. Mitchell Robinson has value to this roster, and he's gonna help us if we don't do nothing, which we probably won't. If we don't do anything, he's going to be a very important part of what we do to win this year. Every single player has their own thing that they're going to have their moment where they're going to have something that they're going to bring to help us win next year, and that is incredible. You know what I'm saying? So this is the path that I want. See, right now we came from the garbage. We was picking up garbage. Now, it built us up to even get to the point where a Tom Thibodeau wants to come here. Now you get to the point where we're starting picking up little free agents here and there. Now we can sign a Fournier. Now we can sign a Walker, a Kemba Walker. We're leveling up. Now the next big thing is to make a trade with the excess assets that we have, because we have excess assets. We got so many draft picks coming up. We can't draft everybody, and we won't. And we have excess where we could trade 3 first-round draft picks and still have one every year. You know what I'm saying? Second-round picks you want to talk about? And then we have all these extra contracts. I have confidence that McBride and Grimes can come up into that bench role for us. So if that's the case, everybody thinks these guys can play. Then we can pull from that thing and go get us a Karl Anthony Towns. And if we get Karl Anthony Towns, I don't want to hear shit, because now you're talking about that we are fucking perennial championship contender at that point. You know what I'm saying? And that is the key. I don't want to, that's why I say I don't want to talk about paying this guy because of the market. That's bullshit. The end game is to get to the point where we can make that move to get us to the championship. And that's it, because there's nobody that we're going to sign. Everybody's getting these extensions. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting all these extensions. There's nobody to sign. So we have all these assets. The Knicks are doing a great job. We got all these assets. As soon as something becomes available, pack these assets up and make a drop. It's not necessary. It's not Dame Dollar. Because we got Walker and we got freaking Rose. What the hell we need Dame for? You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking about it, Karl Anthony Towns is that guy. It's gonna put us to the point where we have 5 guys that you cannot double team any of those guys, and everybody can shoot the 3. So how are you guarding that team? And then we got defenders coming off the bench. So that to me is incredible to me. And you're talking about stories. Man, and then at the end game, it should always be the championship. That's it. It should always be.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I like this take. I love this take so much. So you're telling me that with Karl Anthony Towns on this team, we are at a win now.
Without a doubt.
We're in win now mode.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right at that point, we will be on a 3-year plane that we're trying to get a championship. At that point, that's the end game. Listen, Tom Thibodeau, what is he gonna die? You know what I'm saying? He got like a 4-year contract. What are we gonna wait till he's in his second contract to start winning? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we in the end game type of thing. We in the point now where we can put something together to give us a 3-year window where we can go for it. And then once that 3 window is up, then we do it again. That's what all teams do. Even teams that have solidified players like Tim Duncan and these guys, every so often they'll have a down year and then they'll come back for another 4-year run, 3-year run. That's just how it is. Miami's the number one with that. As soon as they came into the league, they built it up. They got Pat Riley here, and then they won their first championship with Antoine Walker and those guys. And then LeBron came, and then it's always something to keep rebuilding to keep this thing going. And I think that's the trajectory that where the Knicks are all right now.
Okay, I agree with you. I don't like to give away my position, giving away my position isn't polarizing enough. But I was so compelled.
Funny,
I was so compelled when you said Cat puts us in championship mode. I agree, bro.
How do you guard that though?
You don't.
How do you guard that? Because Kemba Walker, if Cat and Julius Randle up on the perimeter and Fournier is on the perimeter too, there's so many different things you could do with that. Because you cannot double team anybody, and Cat is going to score every single time 1-on-1. Julius Randle is going to be wide open. Who do you double at that point? And then the bench comes in. We never lose. We never lose any.
Would you say the starting five with Cat in it, would you say that we are better than the New Jersey Nets?
They're gonna have to guard us. At that point, we're talking about they have three of the best players, offensive players, and Durant plays a little bit defense, but they got three of the best offensive players of this generation. If you want to talk about that, the best handles that anybody's ever seen, the best pure scorer anybody's ever seen, the best probably shooting guard of this generation in Harden, or point guard, whatever you want to say that he is. There's three unstoppable players on that team, so they're going to be a hard out. But if those three goes against that five, they got to play defense. And at number one, nobody's guarding Cat on that team. And number two, nobody's guarding Julius Randle on that team. And then Fournier is just running around doing what he wants to do at that point. And then you forget about RJ Barrett. So there's so many different levels to that team if we was to get Cat without trading any starters. It's crazy.
Knicks fans, there you have it. I agree, bro. No fighting me today. No fighting me today.
No fighting you today, man. I agree, bro. We already eclipsed the 3 hour mark, man.
Bro, this has been one of the most entertaining shows that I've done in a long time. We've addressed. This show was supposed to be, in my opinion, based off of the way I brought it to you, this show was supposed to be about Obi Toppin. Yep. And we were able to morph it and bring it into so many different avenues, and that's what it's about. That this is what we do. This is what Knicks fans do. We kind of jump down a rabbit hole. We jump down the manhole in the Bronx, and then we come out the manhole in Long Island somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of trying your best to. My goal. Let's try to figure out what the hell this front office is doing. I think that's what gives the current Knicks content creators their content, is that nobody knows what the front office is actually trying to do. And that's an amazing feeling to have. While you feel like you're in the dark, you look at all the things that they actually have done and you say, okay, I like the way that looks.
Well, the thing with that is just with everyone else is that everyone is still in the pocket of all these mainstream media guys. They're still in the back pocket. They don't have an opinion unless they hear somebody say it. They're still watching ESPN, watching these jackasses that they never even seen a basketball. They can't even talk the game the way that we talk it. But you value their position. There's still people out there that gotta buy the newspaper every morning. Are you kidding me? You want to know like in order to get your opinion, you gotta read what Berman said. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In order to get your opinion,
the worst guy of all people to listen to, Berman.
Even the Knicks players don't respect him no more. The Knicks players like, hey, go Berman. Hey, Berman, what's up? But you got to ask me now. You know what I'm saying? He don't even get the respect. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the thing is, go support your content creators. You see Evergreen here. You're going to see him on MBK. You're going to see him on Guillermo's show. You're going to see him on everybody's show, whatever, doing this thing. Support these guys, man, because we know what the fuck we're talking about. Even if you don't agree with a simple point that Evergreen's making, or if you don't agree with the fuck I'm saying, at some point in this conversation, you're going to agree with all of us. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably getting drunk at home enjoying the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sweating right now.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
Based off of the way that I've truly listened to a lot of, and I've echoed this sentiment many, many times before, right? Based off of the way I can listen to the generic rhetoric that comes out of a lot of people's mouths, to include some of the Knicks content creators that are actually out there, I can tell whether it's worth me even having a conversation with them. And what gives me that determination is when you listen to certain things that they say and certain positions that they hold, and you can tell. Hold on, I'll pull this up on my phone, right? Because I have it on QuickBooks, right? You can tell whether these guys actually have read the NBA, the CBA. if you aren't a guy that has read the CBA in its entirety, not in its entirety, that's crazy to say because it's a 1,400-page document. I don't expect any of you guys to do that. But at least have it down. This is how crazy I am about this Knicks stuff. At least have it downloaded on your phone, right? I have the CBA downloaded on my phone right now. So when anybody asks any of these questions about, oh, what do you think about making this trade or making that trade, right? I'll give you a foundational idea of to what it takes. But at the end of the day, you need to come with some type of legitimate substance in order to make it work because this 2K shit is not the play. Yeah. This NBA 2K push X or whatever freaking button you got to press to execute the trade in hopes that it goes through. And then you say, oh, that doesn't work. So let me add another player. And that doesn't work. Let me add another player. And that doesn't work. Let me add another draft pick. That's not real life, people. It's not real life. So until you have done your due diligence and read the CBA so that you don't sound like an idiot on the New York Knicks content creators pages, whether it's NBK, Diehard Knicks, Blorit Cheers, Knicks Fan TV, man, it's Ron Cleveland. I can keep going down. I can go down all of them. All of those people have put in the work and said, yo, I don't want to sound like an idiot on my own show. So when people say certain things to me, I can nip all of that bullshit in the bud, and I can tell you that doesn't make sense, and here's why. Because the CBA says this, and it won't work because you got to make the money work, or else the teams are going to come back and have to pay shit out of pocket, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. If you haven't done that, whoever you are, you can't come for Evergreen G because I got the CBA right here on my phone. And when people say crazy shit, I go straight to the chapters that's needed and read it. And I say, oh, okay, that shit makes sense.
CBA chapter whatever to read, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's what
Evergreen. Evergreen is like the Nick Israelite.
You don't have to go that far, bro. You don't have to go that far. If you got it on PDF, you can just search up keywords and say veterans minimum search, and it'll take you right to the veteran minimum paragraph, and then you can say, okay, if this guy's making a veterans minimum and this guy over here is making the max contract, how could I trade this guy for this guy and make it work without taking on salary and going in the hole? If you can't do that, people, you are not in a position to come on any podcast to say Evergreen G don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, Evergreen, I can see you like standing on 7th, like 33rd and 7th with like a Nick Dashiki on reading CBA, talking about.
Hey, I'll be over there in Harlem like the Hebrew Israelites wear blue and orange, like
standing right by Macy's and shit.
CBA, and he'll be like, "That's right."
Read, go ahead.
Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Read chapter 4. Go to Dolan chapter 4 verse 3. All right, give me that. Then get it. Chapter 4 verse 3. James Dolan contracts.
Instead of selling bean pies, you can be selling snickerdoodles and shit like that.
I'll be selling snickerdoodles. Listen, man. God. If my point in being is that for now, people, just listen. I'm not going to stray you wrong. I'm going to give you an opinion from up front. I'm not going to stray you wrong. I'm going to give you my opinion up front. And then afterwards, I'm going to give you all the facts in hopes to justify that. In hopes to justify that. That's it. I'm not going to give you nothing more, nothing less. You make your determination as to where you want to go, whether Evergreen G is an idiot. That's it. But if you haven't done that type of homework, you know, I'm not. If you got a Ivy League scholar from Harvard, you think an Ivy League scholar from Harvard is going to sit down and have an argument with a 12-year-old about physics?
He might.
He might just to whatever.
He might.
It's not going to mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
So if you're not that guy, if we're going to hold on to this mantra status of being the most educated, because I hear it all the time, the Knicks fan is the most educated fan in the NBA, right? If we're going to hold on to that status, then every single person that I see that's in New York City at the Garden on 34th Street that's wearing a Knicks jersey, I should be able to be like, just like the 5%ers used to do back in the day, right? 5%ers, hey, what's today's math?
What's today's mathematics? What's today's Knicks mathematics, right? What's
right. You had to say that, right? You had to report that, and they'd be like,
if you didn't know it, what happens if you don't know it?
Or what happened? And what happened?
Get your ass beat.
You get your ass beat, right? So if I come to a Knicks fan on 34th Street on game day, and I'm like, yo, what's the veterans minimum, blah, 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 yada, yada, and you can't say that, or at least you can't pull out the site work and say, yo, according to CBA chapter 4, blah, 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 it says this, and I can be like, peace, Knicks fan. You said that shit. If you can't do that, you have no right to come on any platform to tell me or anybody else that we're crazy for the shit that we talk about.
You gonna throw hands with them if they don't know the CBA?
I'm not in that position no more. I'm not out here getting ready to fight nobody. Bro, I'm a grown ass man, bro. I'll be 34. Well, I'll be 34. I don't know, 34 or 30, 35. I'll be 34 this year. I'm not about to be sitting here arguing with people on you know, that's not what I do. You know, we love this Knicks fanatics. You know, shit. real talk, people. Real talk, Knicks fans. If you're gonna hold on to the idea, everyone should at least bare minimum. If you don't have on a Knicks jersey, but you call yourself a Knicks fan, you should at least bare minimum know the game. And part of knowing the game, outside of just knowing the rules of taking 3 steps is a travel, jumping up and down and landing with the ball after you've already had possession is a travel, right? Blocking the ball after it's on its downward trajectory is a block. If you can know those basic things about basketball, but to say that you're a real Knicks fan, a diehard Knicks fan, you got to at least have the ability to pull up the CBA. Some people we can sit here and talk about the CBA all day, and they won't even know what the hell the CBA stands for. Is it the College Basketball Association? What? What are you talking about, dummy? It's a collective bargaining agreement that's actually about to get rewritten next season because it resets every 5 to 6 years, depending on who the president is. So we got to do better, people. We got to do better.
I think I'm gonna close it here, but you know, as far as the CBA, whatever, I think there might be a lockout, man, with all these people like giving the people everybody $20 million a year, and they don't deserve it. No, there's no forward movement. No teams are getting better. They're just spending all this money. I think that there's gonna be a problem because the players have too much say, and the owners don't have no say. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's gonna be a problem going forward. There might be another lockout.
The reason I don't foresee it as a problem is because at the end of the day, you will always have exploited talent coming in from college. And the fact that we're moving into this era of high school players, you have even more exploited talent getting ready to come in. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't want to be that guy that takes that, you're looking for 20 million, but we're willing to give you 10 million. Okay, fine, Mitchell Robinson, go look for it elsewhere. And when you end up having to go down to Orlando, and even Orlando is looking at you like, bro, if you don't get the hell out of here, we're not giving you 10 million. You better take this 3.8 and call it a day. And now you're like, I'm not gonna play. That's fine. I'm gonna go to Doodle Shit State University, and I'm gonna pick up this kid. and he's gonna play and give me the same amount of production, right? And he's gonna play and give me the same amount of production. That don't mean a damn thing for the CBA. The only time the CBA locks out is when they're up for a new contract. When the NBA is up to renew the collective bargaining agreement. Excuse me. That's the only time it happens. If it doesn't happen during that time, everybody else is like, let me get the money that I can get. Which is why you got players like Andre Drummond making $2.5 million a year in Philadelphia when he could have got $13 million a year for the New York Knicks. I would have gave him that.
Yeah.
Right. So I get it. I understand where that angst and that fear comes from. I get it. But I don't foresee the collective, I don't foresee there being a lockout because players are happy. The shit players are happy.
Not so much the ownership.
Hayward made a bag. He's happy. Why?
Not so much the ownership.
Yeah, but the ownership, the show must go on. When there's lockouts, it's because of the players. It's not because of it's not because of the owners.
Lockouts are the owners locking the players out.
Yeah, but the owners are but again, when the owners lock the players out, they don't lock them out until after free agency and after the draft. Right? We're not going to play this guy that much. And then that guy just so happens to have direct connections to, the head of the CBA, which this year, I think they announced that it's supposed to be was it Bradley Beal or CJ McCollum? CJ McCollum this year.
CJ McCollum, yeah.
Right? CJ McCollum. Not many people who got CJ McCollum on speed dial. I don't foresee it getting locked out this season.
Not this season.
This
just
season, think about it. The season that maybe next season. I'll go with that. I like that.
Well, whenever the CBA is up, when is the CBA up?
I believe the CBA is up this year. This is the final year, which is why they elected a new president. But the big thing is,
so that's the reason why there was a lot of resignings too, because
right.
Okay, I got you.
And then if again, I can go back and reference the CBA again. It's a 1,400-page document, so I'm not getting ready to sit here and read all of that on the show and give us some dead air. We can discuss that on the next show. But if there were to be a lockout, it would be next season because next season is the big free agency year. We knew wasn't shit coming in free agency this year. Everybody was still on contract, right? Everybody's still on contract. The only player that was off contract that required that extension was Kawhi. That's it. Who else?
Well, let me ask you this though. What are the requirements for Doodle Shits University?
Doodle Shits University?
Yeah.
You don't even have to come off the bench. We can evaluate you in the G League. That's what Doodle Shits University in bumfuck Nebraska is gonna get you.
Damn, bumfuck Nebraska.
You know what I mean? That's what it's gonna get you. Okay, AK. Oh, you were D12 scholarship holder from Doodle Shits University. All right. Oh, you were averaging 30 points at Doodle Shits University, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists on 2 blocks. You can make the G League, my guy. And there's a team that will evaluate you enough, just like we evaluated Kenny Wooten, who's a free agent right now. There's a team that will evaluate you and find some type of value for you if the rest of the league decides, the big free agents decide they're not going to pay me $45 million in max for the next 5 years.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there because I think we're gonna end the podcast because you just said that somebody that averaged the same numbers that Mitchell Robinson averaged, but you wanted to give him 20, but now you say reevaluate him and this, that, and the other. Anyway, we're gonna end it, man, because we're gonna go into 4 hours now, man. So we already got 3:28. I'm gonna end up cutting this podcast and making it 2, so people could see the second half of what we were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, but Mr. Evergreen, thank you very much for being on the Dynamics podcast, man. We got to do it again if we can get another topic that we can really go crazy on. We got to come back and do it again.
Absolutely. You know I'm here. You know I'm here. Peace and love, Nick family. I love y'all. Expect a lot of new work on the production side, on the music production side from me. You guys know I dropped the Big 15 EP earlier on last season. We didn't quite market it right. It was really predicated on the success of the Knicks, which really didn't give us that far based off of Atlanta whooping our ass. But this season and this Knicks, this new Knicks album that we're working on, it really has a great potential. So look out for that. New Knicks EP coming on the way. We haven't quite decided on the album yet, but we're putting in some work. I know music is my very first passion, and then it comes to the Knicks. So keep an eye on the lookout for that right before the season starts, hopefully. And like, comment, subscribe, support all of the pages, all of them. I could run down a list, but right now you're watching Die Hard Knicks podcast, so leave us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, share it if you haven't. You make sure you tell your uncle and your sister, baby cousin Tracy to tune in and listen. Everybody from Soundview, stand up. Y'all listen. Y'all already know I'm representing for y'all. And yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's
So we out of here. Thank you everybody in the chat. Shout out to Tricky Nicky. I can't even post half of the stuff that he was saying in the chat there, man. But we'll see you guys next time. Shout out to Jarrell. Shout out to everybody here, Mr. Cully. Shout out to Cully. Cully also has his own show on Orange and Blue. What's the name? The Blanche Tears and stuff overnight.
Yeah.
So support everybody, man. But right now, Eru's out. 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking the thumb salute. See you guys in the next one, man.
Peace.